Mini ministerial that is taking place in New Delhi. The Commerce Minister is just briefing the media on the key outcomes of that meeting. Let's cut across.
Meeting of minds, which certainly happened. Every country said that something, and which were free and very, very frank discussion. So every country, of course, obviously put forward their own viewpoints, including India. We are also represented there. And therefore, we could have it. And as you know, in month of March, or even earlier, there is no snow in Delhi, and therefore snow doesn't turn into ice in Delhi. But this was definitely a very good meeting, and therefore we look forward to moving on with making sure the WTO works on that. So I am sure that this particular meeting will be another building block for building trust, confidence, and bringing countries together.
My question, Mr. Prabhu, and to DG. So, whether some of the countries raise the issue of a recent decision of US of raising this import duties on steel and aluminium, and secondly, the reports are coming in that US is going to impose further restrictions on Friday on the like imports from China. So whether China or some other countries raise this issue, if yes, then what were the broad consensus?
See, this was a WTO related programs. What USA has raised, whether it is WTO compatible or not, whether it is something which is violating rules or not, that's something the country will have to individually look into that. As far as we are concerned, I mean, and then to answer your question, yes, this issue was raised. But as I said, this is something which is really speaking unilateral action on the part of USA, and therefore this action will be obviously any trade related action is subjected to scrutiny, whether it is US WTO compatible or not.
So whether India will also seek like exemptions from the US on this steel and import duty increases, like some of the countries are now?
So no, so every country will have a different response to it. We are obviously not the largest exporter of steel or aluminum to US. Among the importers of steel and US into US, India would be probably below number 9 or 10. So we are not the largest exporter, but still what we are affected, we are definitely will take it up with United States, with whom we have a huge trade surplus and we have a very good political relationship. We'll take up this matter with them bilaterally.
Sir, Devina from BBC. First of all, congratulations for hosting a wonderful informal meeting with the WTO.
Little closer.
Yeah, I would like to ask the DG of WTO also to comment on the gentleman's question here, that with the US now imposing trade tariffs unilaterally and with so many countries raising that concern, including India, what is going to be the WTO stand on it? And will there be any sort of a repercussion for the US being a member of WTO for these unilateral duties?
Well, people say that the WTO is the sheriff of international trade. We are not a sheriff. So the WTO does not, as an institution, take a stance. I have said very publicly that I'm very concerned, and I think the institution itself could say the same, because these measures, for whatever reason, they have a very real potential for escalation because of the possibility of responses from other partners with trade restrictive measures as well. And that, I think, is something we should avoid. This is what we heard today. Many countries saying we have a concern with this, there is a potential for escalation, we have to proceed very carefully and try to work within the framework of the WTO. My hope is that this is what is going to happen at some point, that they will talk about how to handle this using the multilateral framework, because I think that's the only way that we can avoid a very disruptive and unpredictable scenario in global trade.
As far as the US participated in this program through their deputy trade representative, he strongly commented that he stands by WTO, and of course that is what US has first response as a person who is just going to take over as a WTO. So I think this is official response from them in this meeting.
Thank you.
Mr. Azevedo, in your opening remarks, you said that words need to be met by action also later. Given the tone of discussions here, are you confident that further down the road these words will be met with action, especially by countries which are in a way challenging the WTO system itself?
I think the major importance of this initiative taken by the Indian government is that this was the first opportunity that we had to have a conversation at the political level after the ministerial conference in Buenos Aires. And we were all very disappointed with what happened in Buenos Aires. There was a lot of animosity among members, and the feeling that I had after the meeting here in Delhi is that all members realize the seriousness of the situation and the fact that we all together need to work to find a solution in all areas of the work. And I think that the spirit that I detected today was one of recognizing that the solution lies in collective effort. Everybody has to sit down, everybody has to help find a solution, even though we don't like the situation that presents to ourselves, because when a member has a concern, another one doesn't have a concern about that. But we all have to understand. And I heard a very positive disposition to talk about issues that up until Buenos Aires, there was frankly no conversation. It was just a complete opposition of views. In Buenos Aires, I think they began to have some kind of constructive conversation, but it was too late by then. And today, I felt that that spirit of trying to find solutions, trying to have a more constructive conversation was still present, and I think that's something that we can build on.
I want to know specifically what was China's view and commitment to the expressed towards this process. Second is, was India's concern about food security discussed in the forum?
See, actually, these were all in-camera meetings, and then normally such informal meetings we don't keep record of what each person said really, because we don't attribute to them. And then actually, though we don't say Chatham House rules normally applies to such discussions, so therefore it is not right for me to tell who said what. But one thing I can tell you, the food security concerns and the items related to agriculture were definitely discussed and were strongly put forward by countries including India.
My question is to DG WTO. Sir, the founding members, the Western democracies which founded WTO, their purpose is resolved now. They don't want WTO anymore. They are taking unilateral action. So why not just kill WTO, bury it, and start a new one with new set of rules, to fool the third world democracies again? I mean, one of the, off the record, one of the delegates, very senior delegates in WTO said, okay, it is dead. It is in ICU. I'm just waiting it to die.
Any other question? So,
No, sir. Please let him answer my question, then maybe another.
No, he'll answer it 1 minute. Sure.
Yeah, sir, Asit here from Mint. One of the objectives of this meeting was to find guidance on issues on which there was no guidance at the Buenos Aires. So what was the progress on specific issues, if you can mention? And sir, to Mr. Azevedo, I mean, did you see any difference of view of each country present in Buenos Aires and in New Delhi? Is there a difference of their opinion, what they said at Buenos Aires and New Delhi? Is there a progress on some of the issues?
See, number one, underlying sentiment and overwhelming feeling of this meeting was that yes, we have differences and everybody agrees there are differences, but whether we should only keep talk differences or we find a way. So that was a basic highlight. So therefore each country came with a mood of finding out a solution to this. Actually, I must tell you that China's senior minister was to come, but he had to attend this important plenary. As you know, the big Congress is going on in China. He will be here in next week, next Monday, for a bilateral meeting with us, and we had invited him. We are very keen to find out how would you reduce the trade deficit with China, so we are discussing that issue bilaterally. So next week we have a major program on trade forum meeting with China. Also there will be Chinese minister, with such a senior leader, I think he's one of the top leaders of China, in the top, definitely in the top hierarchy. So he will be also having some political bilateral meeting. But with China we are going to have this very extensive meeting next week.